Hey guys, okay, working on this LG 55UJ 6200 LED TV today. Got it in the garage. So symptom I've been having is you turn the TV on, you hear the on sound. You have actual audio of whatever is playing on the TV. So let's say you have it on a cable television channel, you can hear the audio. However, you have no picture. So pretty good telltale sign on this particular model and even a lot of the LG LED TVs is when you turn it on, if you see a quick flash of the LG logo or at least the TV coming on quickly and then shutting off the screen part of it, you can be pretty certain it's something to do with the LEDs or the backlight LEDs. So I'm just going to show you what I mean by that. I'm just going to shut the lights off in the shop here, and then I've got the TV unplugged, but I'm going to plug it back in. And when you plug this TV in, you have to use the remote. Okay, so I'm gonna turn TV on. I don't know if you guys caught that, but it literally flashed for like a quarter of a second. And on this particular TV, turn the lights back on, that's a pretty good telltale sign that there's something going on with the backlight LEDs. Because what happens with the particular circuit, the power board in this TV, it sends power to the LED backlights, and then within a quarter of a second, half a second, it realizes there's something wrong with the LEDs, so it shuts the power off going to them. It's sort of like a safety feature for whatever reason. So we're gonna go into the back of this TV. We're gonna see where that power board is and where the circuitry comes out to feed the LEDs. And then from there, we're going to do a couple tests, and then we're likely going to get in deeper into the TV. And I'll show you guys how to replace individual LEDs, how to test the LEDs, and hopefully we'll get this TV back up and running. So if you have a TV like this or similar LG LED TV that looks like this one, bigger, smaller, this will be a very helpful video. Okay guys, I just took the back plastic cover off. It's pretty straightforward, so I didn't want to bore you with that. But just to quickly go over it, there's basically a whole bunch of little black screws in these holes right here, and then also wraps around the two sides. There's screws there. This is where the legs mount. You'll notice that I have the legs on mine, but you have to remove the legs to get that plastic off. I put the legs back on just to hold the TV up so you guys could see what was going on. And that's what all the screws look like you have to remove. And you do also have to remove the mounting screws if those screws are still in your TV. They were in mine. They come with it from the factory, so you most likely have them. And then the area we're going to be dealing with right here is your power board. That's the TV's control board. We're not really going to be dealing with that today, except for disconnecting some of the connectors. So right here, you'll see this is the wire that's actually feeding your LED lights. So this is going to be the area we're going to be focusing on today. And then later on in the video, we're going to be focusing on where these wires go, which is on the back side of this, where the actual LEDs are housed. But we're going to focus our tests right here first. And let's get into that. Okay, so I got my little LED tester here. This is basically just a little box that puts out voltage, and that little display there will tell you what the voltage the particular LED you have these prongs on is using, or if something's going on in the circuit. So basically, I unplugged this from the power board, and in this particular TV has 2 positive and 2 negative. Feeding the LEDs, so there's 2 LED circuits. If your TV is bigger, it's going to have maybe 1 more positive or 2 more positive, and then 2 more or 1 or 2 more negative. You could have a smaller TV that only has positive and negative. So, but all we're doing is we're just checking each one of these circuits. So, for example, we'll check the first one. So we're going to go outside negative to the outside positive there. And you'll see my meter says 58.8. Basically, that's likely a set of, it should be 60 volts. So it's basically a set of 23 volt individual LED lights. So that's technically good. So it should be fine, that circuit. Let's go to the other one. We're going on to the inside negative and the inside positive, and we get no change. So It just says 306, which is what it says when it's on just standby mode. So likely the two interior ones are our problem, meaning that that particular circuit of LEDs, because it's wired in series, somewhere in there is a break, meaning there's a burnt out LED. It's not completing the circuit and it's not allowing this little thing to detect that and power the lights. So what's kind of cool is like if the TV's on, you can actually power the circuit with this little device. That's sort of how it works. So if I put it on here, you'll see it says 58.8. If I turn the TV on, it's actually will be lit up on the top or bottom depending on which row of lights it's lighting up. So that's sort of another check you can do. I've already done that, and on mine it happens to be lighting up the top panel of LEDs, and I can see what's on the TV, which is kind of cool. So that basically confirms that we need to get into in more in depth into this TV. We're going to figure out which LEDs burn out, and we're going to replace it. Okay, so these are just little suction cups from my son's bath toy. See if these are enough to lift it up. Okay, they're just in the wrong spot. Okay guys, so I started trying to desolder this little LED after I pop that off. That just pops off with a screwdriver. But I totally destroyed the actual area there where you can solder. However, the replacement LEDs that I got are these. They come on this little pre-made board, whatever you want to call it, with the little light diffuser on them. And you've got negative and positive here. So what I'm just in the process of doing is actually just soldering this right onto the board. And I think it'll actually work out better because what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to glue this right onto there, right in the position the old one was. So when I put that light diffuser sheet back on, it'll be right over that instead of being off to the center. If you're really good at soldering and getting these off, there's a couple guys that have successfully taken the LED off. It's actually not too hard to do, but this is my first time doing it, so I kind of messed it up. But basically what you're supposed to do is grab the LED and break it off with needle nose pliers, and then you can warm it and sort of lift it off. But anyway, I would have had to do that with my new one anyway, and I think I would have damaged the new one trying to put it into there. So these actually work out a lot better. So I'm just in the process of it. I'm going to use this little red wire. I'm going to go from there and I'm going to solder it to this little negative terminal. I know it says negative, but because these are in series, it's actually the positive terminal. And it'll connect from that to that through the light and then continue on to the rest of the strand. So that when we apply power to here, we should get the whole thing to light up. So let's continue with that. So I'm going to dip a little bit in my flux here. And I'm going to put a little bit of flux. Actually, we'll do this first. Put a little bit of flux in here. Warm that up. Then I think the way it's going to go, yeah, so I'll solder it from this way. Put a little bit of solder on my wire here. Okay, that's not too bad there. Okay guys, I got it soldered on there. Sorry, the camera keeps dying on me. But so basically I've got this little plate glued onto here. I've got my negative going to this little terminal here, positive to the terminal here, which is actually feeding positive. You got to make sure the polarity's right. And then we'll just test it here with the backlight tester. So I'm just gonna, I'll unplug this strip and just show you guys a negative, positive. Got them all lit up there, including the new one. The new one's a little bit brighter, but that's okay. And the meter's showing 13.3 volts. Realistically, that should be 15, but it could just be the meter. So then I'll plug this back in. And then because we've got two circuits coming from the board, we'll just make sure we'll try each circuit. So I'm just gonna go on positive here, negative here, and you'll see all the bottoms light up. And then we'll go up to here and we'll go positive, negative on the other circuit just to make sure we're good and make sure we didn't bump anything, and everything's lighting up. And we've got 58.8 volts. And down here we've got 59.1. So effectively 60 volts each, which is what we're looking for. So we can put this back together just the putting back together is literally the reverse. I'll do it in the video, but it'll probably be sped up. I just want to go through some of the tools that I have. So you can get all this stuff on Amazon, I'm pretty sure. This on Amazon for sure. So that's the one I have. There's like 20 different versions of these, but that's kind of what you're looking for. Super cheap. I think that one was like 30 bucks Canadian. If you guys want to know what solder I'm using, this is just my solder I use for everything. I think it's like electrical solder. I'm using plumbing flux, nothing fancy. What else? Oh, the actual LEDs. The particular ones I was using that look like this are these. I think I've got, I think there's 20 in there maybe. And it was like 15 bucks, so lots of repairs there. There's the model of my particular one. And then to glue this on, I just used my CA glue. This is the glue I use for doing trim work and gluing things together. Basically, this is the glue. It's like super glue, and then this is the activator. So you just you put the glue down, hit it with the activator, and then you just hold it, and it's hard in like 4 seconds. So that's handy for that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna start putting this back together. Okay, I'm just gonna plug it in here before I put all the screws in, just make sure it does actually function. Oh, there we go. So that's way longer than it stayed on before. And then yeah, there we go. So just the fact that that's on means we're good to go. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so we're back in business. If you got any questions, just let me know.